Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Original Mets Guys podcast. This is our first ever in person together, and what better time to do it than the signing of Juan Soto to the New York Mets? 15 years, $765 million. There are going to be no deferrals. There's an opt out after 5 years. Father, how are we feeling right now?
This is the biggest offseason move in Mets history. The fact that there was so much competition for him makes this even sweeter. The fact that we were competing directly against the other New York team makes it so juicy and sweet. Welcome to the Cone era. Wilpons, this is a new time in Mets history. If you don't realize that we are living in new times, I said this earlier to Azriel. I said this earlier to you, right? This is something that we've never experienced before as Mets fans. We've never had this where we can get anyone we want for as many dollars or years as we want because we have a fan as our owner. And by the way, that fan
has $21 billion in the bank. And let me say this: for the past couple days, my confidence levels have really gone lower and lower. And I feel bad saying this, but just everything that even though I said this in last week's episode, is that the fact that we're not hearing anything is really good. But to me, getting in my own head, I started getting really nervous. And then today, during the podcast, during the recording, we heard, hey, it's happening now. It's happening tonight. When that episode comes out, you guys are going to see how ADHD we are. And we had another guest, Flavor Flay. All three of us were we were just on our phones, scrolling, somebody was talking, the rest, the other two people were on their phones scrolling, looking for news, hoping we get it. Usually after we're done recording, we pack up and we head out. Today, we knew we had to be here because we knew we were going to have to do this episode. And this is huge.
This is massive. It's something that come next October, maybe we'll slip into November when we're hoisting the World Series championship trophy. We're going to look back at tonight and remember the eve of the winter meetings, thinking that this was the night that we showed the world that the New York Mets are not going to roll over and get squashed anymore. And I'll say this: it's freaking awesome. We're not done yet. We got to bring back Pete. There's still a couple spots in the rotation that need to be secured. The bullpen, we got to bring back Stanek. We got to bring back, bring in or bring back some arms to help get to our closer, Edwin Diaz. And this is going to be the beginning of, I think, a run for Mets championships. And I'm not going to say how many championships we're going to win because, as we know about baseball, you have to win those 4 games in October, right? And you come up against a team that's hot, a team that's hitting, a team that's pitching, and pitching can shut down a great offense. Our pitching this October, we saw them tire out, we saw them get exhausted, and the Dodgers' offense was just way too powerful. We have the offense to match up with anyone. Now it's time to bring in some pitching. Let's get Pete back. We're not done. We need Pete back. He needs to be a Met for life. And let's see where this takes us.
Yeah, I mean, this is going back to the start of what you just said. Is for me, I've never experienced this excitement. This year, the 2024 year, as a Met fan, for me, is the most excitement I've ever felt in my entire life as being a Met fan. And only one time, was there a slight bit of excitement like this, and that was in 2015. But that, whittled away really quickly. this is incredible, and there has never been a free agent in MLB history like this, right? Where he's available to all 30 teams, right? And it comes down to the Mets and the other team in New York, right? Usually when that happened, who are they going to?
They're going
Right?
to the Steinbrenners.
All I'm saying is what you said. This is a new era. A new era. This, I mean, I'm really at a loss for words here.
Yes, you are.
I have no idea what to say. I try to think of what to say. I can't. I can't. But before, like you said, we're not done. We're not done. We have Pete Alonso that we need to bring back. We need to go out and we need to get pitching, right? If we don't get pitching, then Juan Soto is a mute point, right? Because right now our rotation is not going to look is not looking like a World Series rotation, right? We can put up 14 runs a game, but if our rotation is giving up 15, it doesn't matter, right? We can be put it a little bit more realistically. We can score 4 runs every game, but if our rotation has is giving up 5, it doesn't matter. We need to go. We need pitching. We obviously need to bring back Pete. I think bringing in Walker Buehler is going to be a phenomenal move. I would like to see an ace back here, wherever it is. I need. We're not done.
We're not done.
We're not done.
And listen, I think offensively, once Pete is back, I think offensively we're done. I would like to see Iglesias back.
Yeah.
I want to see him back because he's just part of the mojo that the Mets have. But other than that, Nimmo, Smarte, Tyrone Taylor, and Soto in the outfield. You got Siri now, part of that mix. I think Winker and Bader are gone. We've talked about that already. You got Alonso. You got McNeil, Lindor, Vientos. We're going to see some of the young guys, whether it's Acuna, whether it's Mauricio.
I really hope we get to see Gilbert, Drew Gilbert in this year. I really hope to get to see him play. But
I'll tell you that I think that if we're seeing him play, that means someone is struggling in the outfield. I would love to see him play, but at the right time, maybe Marte, maybe next year. And then we have Francisco Alvarez with Luis Torrens backing him up. Offensively, we're pretty good. We need more pitching. But right now, it's not for right now at 9:50 p.m. Central Time. It's 10:50 in New York. It's not the time to talk about that. It's time to celebrate. Juan Soto will be wearing number 22 in Queens with the New York Mets.
And I'd like to say this. To everybody on Twitter who said a bunch of bullshit.
It's a PG-13.
Yeah, I apologize.
Emergency podcast.
Emergency podcast is rated R. Stop. Think before you say stuff because you end up looking like an idiot. I want to ask you. I want to ask you, what does this mean for the organization, for the Mets? What does this mean as a fan? You've been a fan a lot longer than I have. So what does this mean to you, seeing the Mets bring in such a superstar, such a player like Juan Soto?
Listen, I remember, obviously, when Mike Piazza was brought in. I remember when they brought in Pedro and Carlos Beltran. Those were big gets for the Mets, right? Those were big gets for the Mets, and the Wilpons teasing us that they were going to actually do something for us. This is by far someone who this exceeds that, because this guy's 26 years old. They gave him a 15-year contract, right? He's here for a very long time, right? Mike Piazza was here for a number of years. Pedro was here for, I think, 4 or 5 years. I forgot exactly. Beltran, same thing. A little longer. This guy is a long-term Met, along with Francisco Lindor. When they re-signed Pete, this is a core that the Mets will have for a long time.
And you're forgetting
huge.
and you're forgetting about Mark Vientos, who's going to be a stud. You're forgetting about Francisco Alvarez, who's going to be a stud. You're forgetting about all the younger guys that we have, right? When you talk about farm system, right? The Mets have a top 10 farm system in Major League Baseball. So what does this mean? This means that no matter what, right? Or not no matter what, I should say, but we're in a really good position, right? We have Juan Soto until he's 40, right? Well, I think. Yes.
41.
41. He does have an opt-out after his age 30 season, like you said. Right? So you got that right. Congratulations. You've been getting a lot of things right lately. But I do want to say that I don't know what I was going to say because I'm losing my brain. I can't function right now. But it's monumental. Everybody's going to remember 12/8/2024. And the fact that this happened, the fact that it happened today is really cool, I think. Because right before the winter meetings, I was wrong about this too, by the way. I said that it's going to be a week or two after or a little bit after the winter meetings. And you said last episode, by this time next week, we'll know where Pete Alonso is. And guess what? Juan Soto is. And guess what? You were right. Again. So, listen, I mean, this is truly remarkable.
Yeah, no, the truth is I was an hour off. Because if you heard the podcast that came out last night, which was recorded last week, or if you listened to the podcast this morning, right, because I'm sure you all listened to it, because what else are you doing with your life other than listen to the original Mets Guys podcast? I said that by this time next week, we'll know where Juan Soto's going, and I said he'll be a Met. I've never been so confident with a free agent before. Tonight, just, seeing everything happen, knowing that everything was happening any minute, and hearing all the reports about the other New York team coming in, some stupid comments about the Pirates. So stupid.
Oh, we can't forget about the Rockies.
Right. There was a comment about the Rockies.
Scott Boras and his sleeper teams, the Rockies were that.
Right. But here we go. I want to say one thing. Ladies and gentlemen, in right field, number 22, Juan Soto.
Let's go Mets. And before we sign off on this emergency 12-minute, 13-minute episode, I do want to say that we are very thankful for all of you who watch, who comment, and who like, and all that. And we're also thankful for our sponsor, Shop the Shirt. Go to Shop the Shirt.
Got to plug the sponsor.
Got to plug it. Go to shoptheshirt.com. Use code OMGPod. Get 5% off. Get everything there.
You know what? Get yourself a Juan Soto number 22 jersey because you could do that.
It's a colored in
right. So the way
hoodie crew neck thing,
and you'll get blue and orange things that you can color
it in yourself. It's actually really cool.
So that's what Shop the Shirt's about. So get yourself a custom Soto 22 shirt, color in blue and orange, and let's continue this. Let's get Pete back. Let's get some arms, and
let's destroy the market. Let's take over baseball
for years.
For however, I don't care. I mean,
he doesn't care.
Let's say this, right?
He doesn't care.
Let's say this. Let's just say in some whack job of a world we don't get Pete Alonso back, which I'm very, very confident we do, especially now with the re-signing of Juan Soto. Let's say we don't get Pete back, right? It's hard to be mad at this offseason now, right? It's hard to be upset. It really is. It's hard to be upset. You still have young guys. You can call up. I'm forgetting his name.
That guy.
The one guy who we got from Houston in part of
Drew Gilbert.
No.
Brian Clifford.
Brian Clifford. We can call it Brian Clifford to play first base and see how he does there. If we don't re-sign Pete, I really don't want to put Mark Vientos there. But yeah, Ryan Clifford can play first base.
It doesn't matter right now. We got to get again. I want Alonso to be a lifelong Met.
We all do.
I want some pitching, but again, that's not for now. Right now, it's all about breaking news. Juan Soto, New York Met, so exciting, and you know, I got a text before. I didn't tell you about this, right? Because we're too busy freaking out here. I got a text from a fan that lives on the other block by us, texting me, congratulations on Soto, blah blah blah, all that stuff, and I didn't respond to him because I'm busy. I'm busy, right? And I said I'm sorry. I was ordering jerseys because I told him that when Juan Soto signs with the Mets, I'm going to buy him a Mets 22 Soto jersey.
Are they back? Are they on the site
no,
yet?
not yet. But that was
Listen,
my little slap in his face.
listen, everybody. This is monumental. Go out and go enjoy yourself. Don't get too crazy. But we're gonna have this. This will hopefully drop later tonight. No real need to edit this.
Oh, we're not editing. We're just
This is this. And then our episode that we recorded earlier tonight will come out Saturday night per usual.
And you will see a very funny podcast of ADD, of sweat,
doom scrolling, getting off topic all the time. As always, LGM,
let's go Mets.
OMG, even though that probably is in the past. Grimace, I don't know if you guys know this, but what this is a grimace. I'm so excited right now.
I know.
I am all over the place. It's like I drank that Celsius there, but I didn't drink the Celsius. I promise you, I didn't drink the Celsius. It's still
you drink the Celsius.
Let's go Mets. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, give us a like, give us hate comments, give us love comments, whatever it is. We don't really care because we have Juan Soto now.
But again, we want to do some really cool things over here, so definitely subscribe, help us build our audience, and on three.
1, 2, 3.
Let's go Mets.